A warm welcome to each and every one of you to day 2 of the Contract Manufacturing and Private Label Expo 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the day in a positive way with a huge round of applause. Come on. I can't hear you all. Come on. Thank you so much. This is MC Sherilyn Fernandez, your host, and I promise you all a very enriching day ahead. Our first session for the day is on the topic, Power of Purpose, building extraordinary brands worth talking about. And to take the session, I would like to invite none other than the one and only Nikita Rustagi. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nikita, please. Regional Director, Centdegrés, India. Come on, a huge round of applause for Nikita. And I must say, I'm quite excited about this session because it's going to be a very interesting one. So thank you, Nikita. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you all. Nice to meet you. I think it's a bit early in the morning, so I see a lot of absentees here. And I would request all the backbenchers to please come a bit forward. We are not in class 12th anymore. So, yeah. And all the people outside, please, you're most welcome to join the session. Okay, so the topic that we have today is very simple and true to its core. We all know about it. It's not rocket science, to be honest. But in the game of a very crowded market that we're experiencing today, we are kind of losing the essence of it, okay? So we all look up to brands like Apple, Samsung. We all think, okay, these are powerful brands. These are brands which have created something extraordinary today. And in the path of trying to achieve that, we have kind of lost our core essence, isn't it? So before I move further to this topic, we're going to play a little game, okay? It's not. You'll manage? Okay, thank you. So imagine you're in a situation where apocalypse has struck on Earth, okay? Aliens have landed today. This is a do and die situation for you. You have 2 minutes to prove yourself that you're worthy for the aliens to keep you as survivors on the planet, okay? 2 minutes for you to put 3 keywords on the pen and paper in front of you that describe who you are. And your time starts now. 3 words that define you. Who you are, what are your strengths, why do you exist on Earth? Give me 3 keywords. And what would be nice also is if you can translate that into symbols, if required, because of course aliens don't understand English. So, just for those who have joined in, I require you to write 3 keywords of who you are as a person. Define yourself in 3 keywords, okay? Does anyone need more time? And I hope everyone's participating because I can just randomly walk to anyone, and if you haven't written anything, you get to sing a song on the stage, right? So, are we set? Everyone's ready? Okay, so, yes, what's your name? Vinay. Can you tell me how did you define yourself? Determined and innovative. And why do you think you're innovative?
I always try and look for better ways to do things.
Okay.
More
Testing.
easier, better, and less complex way of doing things.
Okay, so you are more of a solution finder, I would
Yes,
say, right?
yeah.
So that's why you call yourself innovative. Thank you so much. How about you? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Arun. I define myself as innovator as well
Okay.
because what I really try and do is that for complex problems, I try and find a simple solution.
Okay.
That is one. Second is I'd like to tell them I am a team player because since we would be very few, once these aliens come, we'll need to build ourselves again. So we'll need to build a team. Third is I'd like to define myself as a friend maker because
Great.
since after we do all the stuff today, we'll need to have a place where we like each other, we love each other, we collaborate with each other with a sustainable future maybe. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really beautifully put together. How about you, ma'am? Ma'am, your good name?
Hi, my name is Harshada Raje.
Okay.
So, 3 words that describe me would start off with that I'm a good, humble, and a courteous person.
Okay.
So that is the thing. Then second, I would say I'm curious to learn new things because at the certain point when people say that I know everything, that blocks your learning to gain new insights that are there so many. So I'm curious to learn, and also I'm willing to adapt
Okay.
because being stubborn at a particular stage wouldn't let you grow. So I guess these 3 qualities describe me.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. How about you, sir?
Hi, my name is Anil. The first one, which I would like to say that I have a good eye for detail.
Okay.
So maybe that's why the alien can spare me. The second one is I feel I'm good at optimizing the existing resources rather than demanding for the new ones. Jitna existing mein game ho jata hai, utna acha hai.
Acha.
And the third one is, I think the gentleman in the front already told it. It's a solution provider. So rather than being a part of identifying problems, let's get over it and identify the solutions to it. So
Okay.
that's the 3 things I feel I have a better chances to
Okay.
be left on earth.
Thank you so much, Anil. And let's go to the backbenchers now. Which one would like to speak? Okay, sure.
So the first I would say that I'm ambitious. So I've recently passed out from college. I've done my MBA. So
Okay.
yeah, currently I'm on the higher side to try different things. And second thing is just related to that I'm curious about knowing different things. So that's that. And third would be I try to be humble as much as I can. So these are the 3 things. So.
Okay, great. Now, what I like all of you to do is switch your sheets with your partners, the one sitting next to you, and see what's common and what's different. And I want anyone to raise your hands if all 3 traits are exactly the same. Is there anyone out there? 2 are same is okay, but anyone who has all 3 different traits, like all 3 same traits? No, right? Okay. So what do you learn from this? Everyone is unique. Everyone is different, right? We have all been born in certain families. We have inculcated certain values, certain traditions. We have built a value system today that really defines us who we are, isn't it? And we express that really well in our behavior, in our ambition, in our aspirations, how we talk to people, how we express ourselves, right? So if this is us, we are unique. We are extremely powerful and unique in our own way. So why shouldn't our brands be? Isn't it? Why shouldn't our brands be powerful and distinct? Why shouldn't they be impactful and worth talking about? And the reality of the situation is that in India, there are hundreds of brands that are being launched every year in the market. You go to a Flipkart, you go to a Myntra, you go to a Nykaa, an Amazon. Every day, you're constantly discovering new brands, be it in beauty, in fragrances, FMCG, you name it, right? And what's happening is everyone is just trying to win the race, right? Everyone wants a piece of the action. And what's happening is in that is everyone's losing an essence of themselves, right? This whole cut, copy, paste culture. Let's go on Pinterest. Let's see 5 images. Let's see trends that are working internationally. Let's adapt it in our Indian market, right? The cut, copy, paste culture, one size fits all, this kind of thing doesn't really work anymore, Brands really have to focus inward, right? What's happening is we are focusing too much on the outcome. Let's look at this example, right? 2 people, overweight, trying to lose 10 kilos. One person just looks at the outcome and says, I just want to lose 10 kilos. His behavior and mannerisms will kind of just be focused on that. However, if a person identifies himself as a healthy person, the entire narration of his lifestyle changes, doesn't it? He automatically inculcates good habits within himself. And that's how also we have to look at our own brands, right? That's very important. And the thing is that, I'll give you an example of, let's say, a sector only, which I think is going to face trouble down the line. Let's look at the Ayurveda skincare, right? Open your Nykaa.com, Amazon.com, look at Ayurveda skincare products. They're all playing with the same brand codes. Everyone has the gold frame, the serif fonts, the beige backgrounds. So if I give you 10 packaging of just Ayurveda skincare today and I remove the brand logos, you will not be able to even identify which packaging belongs to which brand. This is the reality of the situation of the whole cut copy culture that we are living in. So even if you look at the Indian consumer today, they have access to hundreds of brands at a touch of a button, right? Their attention span is extremely low, and you have 5 seconds to make your brand elevator pitch to them, okay? So how can you bring about that impact and then change through very powerful design? How can you stand out? How can you create a value that is beyond product, something that really is resonating with the existence and the purpose of your brand promise, your brand personality traits, etc. Okay? So let's talk, thank you. So let's start with an interesting way to just build brand differentiation. Let's talk about the power of narration, okay? So narration and storytelling is very, very instrumental to, or let's say a very important part of human civilization. It's been there since thousands of years. Stories are emotional, stories are transformational, they have some sort of a nostalgic sort of essence to them. We have grown upon stories in our lives, right? So brands can really captivate the power of storytelling to create an impact today. So if we look at, let's say, pain points. Pain points is a very interesting way to build a story for your brand, right? Anything to do with a challenge and a pain point a founder felt today. They can bring a very powerful narration for a brand based on that, right? So I'll ask the audience a question. How many of you are parents? Okay, quite a few. How many of you have kids who are between 3 to 11 years old? Okay, so sir, tell me, do you do any skincare regime for your kids?
For kids, no.
No? Do you use, what kind of brands do the children use when it comes to, let's say, personal care, skin care?
Frankly, I don't.
There are no brands?
No brand.
Okay, anyone else? Who raised their hands? Yes, okay.
Mama Earth shampoo for my choti, for my girl.
How old is she?
She is 10.
10. But Mamaearth is for infants, no?
Yeah, so I use the same one for my 10-year-old
Acha,
rather
okay.
than exposing her to all the sulfates and all the preservatives.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So, what I want to tell here is there was a woman in France who faced the same issue. She had children who were age 5 and 11 years old, and she never found any products that were catering to that particular segment, not just in France, but even globally. And she always thought, like, as a young girl, she grew up looking at her mother doing skincare routines, and she said, why am I not participating in it, you know? And why aren't children being focused, especially at this age? First of all, they are the consumers of tomorrow, right? And this is a very crucial age of growth, you know, where children are learning autonomy. This is a stage where they are starting to build their identity. They are more receptive to the environments. They adapt behaviors of adults, especially family members. So why is it that companies are really not focusing on educating these kids about self-care? And that gave birth to Wat. So Wat was the brainchild of a mother who wanted to create autonomy and self-awareness for skincare amongst children aged 4 to 11. The values of this brand lied in 4 key pillars, which I'll talk about, which was self-knowledge, self-awareness, togetherness, and playfulness. And very cleverly, the entire brand translated these values not only into a powerful narration, but even to product design, packaging design, as well as retail design. Now, if you look at the packaging, it's colorful, it's playful, it's happy. It's not made for the mother, let's be honest with you. It's not made for the mother or father, it's made for the children. And more of all, this was the first time when we as an agency really focused on human-centered design to create the products. So young children were actually invited in the design studio. They were allowed to play with standard packaging design. And we could see how they were lifting lids, pushing pumps, what were the challenges they were facing. And this led to creating a very signature ergonomic design for packaging, for the brand itself. So it could be, kids could like easily open the lids, close the lids, twist, lock the systems accordingly. And more than that, even the retail store was not made for the person who's purchasing the product, but actually for the children. So the entire discovery experience for the product, the entire way the visual merchandising was done, was actually made for children. So as you can see, you know, they were testing tables that were lowered down to 2 feet. So a child could actually come, test the products, wash their hands, see how the products are being, you know, so the entire thing is how can we make the consumer, not the purchaser, but the consumer, a part of the decision-making process. So this was what, and this shows how values can really create impactful design. What started as a small brand in France, now it's branched out to China and South Korea also in a span of 3 years. Moving on, this is a startup brand. So what about legacy brands, brands that have existed in the market for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, right? So this is another French company. It's a perfume brand called Le Jardin Retro. It's a legacy brand which belonged to a perfumist who was not only known for creating artisanal fragrances, but at the same time, the entire family was very much involved in art, poetry, writing. They were a very renowned family in the whole perfume community of France itself. The brand decided to go through a revamp 2 years ago because, of course, being a legacy brand, it kind of died out that, you know, they were not really relevant enough for the younger audience. So they needed to reinvent themselves, but keeping their value systems, their legacy, their story in place. And this led to the birth of the new Le Jardin Retro. Now, Le Jardin Retro means actually the new founded garden, or the garden reinvented, okay? The visual identity of the brand was kind of symbolic of an enchanted like a beautiful garden you walk into, where, you know, you have the fresh smells of the leaves, the flowers, there's a waterfall. It's a sensorial sort of an experience that you go through. So the whole visual identity of the brand kind of just reflected that. Moreover, the brand wanted to create an impact with packaging design. They were not a traditional perfume brand. They always believed in breaking the codes. That was very important to them. So they created a packaging design that in any store you go, placed against 50 other perfumes, the packaging had to stand out. If you remove the brand name, the packaging is extremely recognizable as a Le Jardin Retro perfume. And this brand today is one of the most recognized trend-focused brands in France for perfumery. Not just that, given the brand legacy, story, and narration, they also looked at their points of sales in a very different way. So if you go through a Le Jardin Retrouvé store in Paris tomorrow, you're not going to walk into a normal store. It's going to be a museum. It's going to be an exhibition of articles, poetry, storybooks, things that the family collected over the years in their travels. They wrote fables, they wrote art, they collected textile design. So it's kind of an immersive experience, not just centered around the product, but the entire brand universe and the legacy of the founders itself. So now, moving on to power of design. So how can we create differentiation, How can we create differentiation through impactful design? Now, I think personification is something that's very interesting, right? Mascots, characters you create for packaging, for your brands. Everyone knows the girl from Amul, right? Everyone knows her. Everyone knows the Michelin Man, right? These are in a way personas that have really been recognizable today. Like, you don't need a Michelin logo next to a Michelin Man to know that that's a Michelin brand, right? So mascots and personas are a fantastic way to bring brand differentiation, put all your personality traits of your brand in one piece, and at the same time add a bit of humor, add a bit of playfulness, add a bit of humor. Is the best way to do it. Now, in China, well-being nutrition for kids was always a challenge, similar to India. Of course, in India now you have brands like Slurp Farms, but this was 3 or 4 years ago when China, actually there were no brands catering to that particular segment. So with Nestle, they decided to launch a brand called the Meng Meng Fox Little Chef, okay? This fox is a magical fox. He really takes his time to curate food that's healthy, and with his friends, he has a whole team of friends, the hippo, the rhino. Everyone would get together and teach kids the importance of well-being, healthy food, diet, and nutrition. Now, this was not only a part of the packaging design for the brand itself, but the brand used this mascot to create experiences at points of sales, for example, to help children learn the value of good nutrition, not just children, but also parents, but also use packaging design as a way to interact with children. So comic strips, for example, animations on WeChat. How could kids and mothers learn together and participate in the process of living a healthy lifestyle? And this was very much done in lines of the mission of Nestle. Does anyone know what's the mission of Nestle? Absolutely, it's good food, good life. And this is how the brand created a very impactful signature, keeping that mission of Nestle in and kept it alive, basically. Now, moving on from packaging design, let's go more into the product itself, right? So, product design is a fantastic way to differentiate yourself in the market. Create a container that is absolutely signature to your brand, because you're now in a space where standard packaging is all over the place, right? Especially if you think about body wash, personal care, etc., etc. So, Incara was a startup brand. It's a tech-focused brand focused on liquid supplements. Now, one of the challenges of people who consume liquid supplements is because these are very high concentrated doses. It's very important to have the right amount of dose, right? So this brand not only ventured the market with the purpose of changing the way the liquid supplements market happens, but also helping people overcome a pain point as to take the dose with the right amount. And this led to a squishable bottle, like very ergonomic in design. When you squeeze the bottle, it takes out exactly one dose. Solves the problem, doesn't it? Also for legacy brands, they constantly have to reinvent themselves. They also toy a lot with product packaging. And product packaging, there's a lot of opportunity for you to just go beyond the whole purpose of just storing what's inside the container, right? You can do so much in terms of adding functionality, adding experience, adding a sensorial expression. Cartier Fragrances was one of our, I would say, iconic signature projects we did, where we launched the La Panther perfume. The emblem of Cartier is the panther, because the panther is fierce, it's sublime, it's mysterious, and it's feral, it's audacious. And Cartier wanted to create something that's absolutely, like it just breaks the market in the fragrance industry. First of all, the product innovation was not like any other fragrance bottle. The molding of the bottle happens on the inside. It was an innovation done with Centdegrés and Groupe Pouchet in France. So the molding has happened in such a way that when the fragrance juice is filled in, it takes the shape of the panther. So it's kind of reinstating the codes of Cartier. But that's not it. The fragrance was refillable. And not just refillable, it was interlinked with the retail experience of the brand. So this was a brand for the first time. They created an interdependency of the packaging and the retail points of sale. So we created the whole fragrance lab for Cartier, where you could walk in the store, you could experience the universe of the brand. And this is a brand which is quintessentially a jewelry brand. You know, the legacy of the brand lies in jewelry. So we had to maintain those codes of jewelry, the experience of walking into a luxurious atmosphere. But the whole product innovation was taken through account. And we also created a whole olfactory experience, keeping the jewelry box in mind. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to let go that it's a jewelry brand, right? But how do we effortlessly blend it into a new category, which is fragrances? So we created a whole fragrance refillable lab. People could walk in with their containers, experience different scents, have music playing along with it, and at the same time, test these fragrances with jewelry boxes. Yeah. So experience, of course, is very important. It's a fantastic way for you to get customers back to the store, for sure. And customers are always looking for something beyond product, something that stimulates the senses, something that creates some sort of an emotional trigger in you. That's very key, right? So this is okay, beauty, skincare, makeup, okay. What about very unexpected industries like mattresses, okay? So Casper, I don't know if you know of the brand Casper Mattresses. They have a very, very powerful success story. This was a brand that launched, this was a brand actually that went from zero to $750 million in just 4 years, because Casper doesn't identify itself as a mattress company. They sell mattresses, pillows, bed sheets, bed linens, duvets, right? But they call themselves a tech company first. And their brand purpose, their purpose of the brand, the existence is, they want to revolutionize the way people sleep. So what Casper did was, of course, completely change the way people shop mattresses. They were the first online brand to sell mattresses. They also innovated collateral. So this was a brand that started the mattress in a box, which of course a lot of brands are doing nowadays. So as you can see, the little box there, you order the mattress online, it gets shipped to you in a box, you leave it out, it gets inflated to the actual size. Not just that, Casper really kept humans as the center point of the innovation. So what they did was very interesting, So they started keeping experience centers in their shops. So you could see sleeping pods. Everywhere you go to a Casper store in the US, they are sleeping pods. And they're strategically placed, right? So you will find them in shopping malls, where, let's say, the wives are going shopping, so the husbands can take a 45-minute nap. Or they are maybe in, I would say, working spaces, so commercial spaces. So if you have a bad day at office, you want to just take a power nap, you go to a Casper store. And this gave an opportunity for people to walk in the store, take rest, try different types of mattresses. But underlying that was something even more powerful. This was an opportunity for Casper to study emotions, behaviors, feedbacks of people who were coming in the store, and you were leveraging this data to create new product innovations, more consumer-centric product innovations in the market. So this is one example of how we have experiences in retail itself, but what if we transcend beyond the physical space, right? What if we go more into the realms of digital? So I have Parth here, who is my digital manager, who's going to talk about how from retail we bring experience into marketing. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hi. So I'm Parth Singh, as Nikita said. I head the company for marketing and digital specifically. So basically, when they and you all are done with your design, brand strategy, and development part, I'm the guy who starts toying with your brand. Toying with the brand, Is there anyone in the audience to whom this sounds a bit, reluctant or a bit offensive in some sense? Anybody? I mean, it's a brand, right? You have created it like a child, you have nurtured it, and somebody just comes and tells you, let's start toying with it. So I say, why not? This is something which the brands these days are missing. We are not looking forward to that playfulness that has been required by your brand. And nothing boundless has ever come from something which is bounded and confined. If you don't leave your brand, have the space to breathe, how is it gonna, nurture further or give you some results which you don't expect or out of your imaginations? And that's a fact. That's not a creative statement that I'm making. Nothing boundless has ever originated by something confined. A lot is happening in the marketing world. Earlier, the world was talking about AR and VR, augmented reality, virtual reality. Now they are talking about NFTs and metaverse. But we are still doing our damn SEO. Why? Anybody here, who can tell me why? Why are we still stuck down with our SEO? I give you a very quick demonstration of that. How many of you here do SEO practices for your websites? Just please raise your hand. How many of you? Or you are aware of the concept of SEO being happening for the websites, your brands, your home pages? Yeah. Keep your hands raising for a moment, please. Yeah, thank you. Now, how many of you are doing the same SEO practice for your automatic speech recognition? That's basically your Google voice search that you use in your phones. See, the number of hands falls reluctantly. Now, based upon this, what we see marketing is, and especially digital, when it comes to digital, we see it as independent pillars that we need to stand for our brand. But that's not true. Digital marketing is a set of pillars, but it's very interlinked and interconnected. One pillar needs to support another, but at the same time, one pillar might need to fall down in order to grow another. That's how things work here. And the right way to nail marketing is the foundation of your purpose first, and secondly, not to be late with the innovation that we are stuck with, doing all our SEOs. Which brings us to the latest trend of experiential and sensational marketing. Let's establish the fact. Marketing is proportional to risks, which is proportional to rewards. A very basic statement, I think you all will agree with me, right? But with the risk comes your reward. Higher the risk, higher the reward, and the chances of loss as well. So when I make the statement, start toying with your brand, let me first start with examples of how not to toy with your brand. The best example for this is the Facebook campaign. In 2017, Puerto Rico was flooded down, and Facebook wanted to highlight this for their $1.5 million funding that they made to help the destructions and all the people who were part of this tragedy. A very good agenda for sure, everything great in mind, until they started boasting about their VR technologies in front of a tragedy. They forgot what was happening behind them, Maybe the marketing team of Facebook failed to tell Mark that, you are not allowed to be boastful in front of a tragedy. I mean, Centdegrés could have told them very easily. It was just to say, hey, Mark, don't smile. People are crying in the background. Don't high five. People are crying in the background. Yeah. Another perfect example of the same happening, Microsoft Bob. Microsoft, in their very early starting, created this platform so that people who are not able to understand operating system get affiliated with it. So basically what was happening is that your calendar is your calendar in your computer. Your books are basically your notes. Similarly, your wallet is basically the wallet which is standing right there to make people, used to the operating system. But what they forgot was you are considering your audience to be too dumb. And people don't like to get called dumb. So eventually what happened, the customers started calling Microsoft dumb for doing this. Another very good example for communication going wrong. This is UCB, the United Colors of Benetton. They came out with a campaign for their kids' clothing. Sorry ladies, girls not allowed. And this particular campaign received a hell lot of backlash on social media, on all other platforms, in news, PR. Can any one of you identify what's wrong with the slogan, sorry ladies, girls not allowed? Any one of you? It's not inclusive. In today's world, bifurcating a gender, keeping somebody out, it's not inclusive. But then, when we do it with our scooty pep and say, why should boys have all the fun? Why is this not wrong? If the earlier one, sorry ladies, girls not allowed is wrong, why boys should have all the fun is not wrong. Here we establish the part about your brand. How your brand awareness is, how your brand is recognized for. UCB, as the name stands, it is for United Colors of Benetton, which means inclusive. Different people, different race, different audiences, all types united into one under umbrella. That's what UCB stands for. So when they say that, sorry ladies, girls not allowed, it's very bad. It's very bad for their brand image, which they have established down for years. But when a company like PEP, which is made for the feminine agenda, excludes the boys out, it's fine with them. It's all about taking care of your brand image, knowing what you are communicating to your audience, and then get the content right to them. Rest, there is nothing right and wrong. It's all your audience which are going to decide that factor. So this was basically all on how not to toy with your brand. A few more quick examples of the same would be Mission Impossible 3. Action lovers, I'm pretty sure you must have all watched it. So don't hide bombs in newspaper racks, because some people literally reported it to the police that what's going on, we have bombs here planted. This was an experiential marketing campaign done by the movie people. Don't organize a treasure hunt and tell people that the treasure is near a graveyard. We don't want to dig out the dead people. And these are all the big brands out there. The brands you inspire, the brands you aspire to become, who have made these blunders, hell of a blunders in life. But then again, there are some good things about sensational and experiential marketing which catch my eye. Go metaverse. I mean, why not? Marketing isn't about promotion or campaigns and ads now. We all know, we see ads and we know it's an ad. We don't have to click it. It's been done by some brand. It's coming on my Google. It's coming in my Instagram. We know it's an ad. There are lots of chances that it's just branding. It might be all false. It might be all bluff. But then again, personalization, experience, and sensations are something which makes your ads worth it. Disney is going meta with their virtual world simulator. The new Disney Band Plus basically creates a 3D environment around you which doesn't require any kind of augmented reality or virtual reality, all those equipments that you wear on your headsets and anything. It's completely just a band which is going to do that for you. Hyundai has gone metaverse. Hyundai Roblox, a place where you can check out all their different models, test run their cars, drive things, accessorize your avatars that you have there, trade with people, play fun games. Makes you loyal to the company. Takes the advertisement, takes the marketing to a next level when you are living inside of it, when you are experiencing it firsthand. Nike, this is one of my favorites. We all love Nike brand, yeah? Nike shoes, everything, they stand for their athleticism. They entered metaverse. Buy it in metaverse and get it delivered at your home. What's more fun than that? You're sitting on your couch, you are visiting the metaverse store, right in your place, right in your home, or comfortably sipping a tea. You are buying stuff, you are having the retail experience in reality, but it's not happening actually. It's all virtual. But the product will get delivered to your home. And in addition to that, you get an NFT of the shoe as well, and you get to keep it in your virtual game too. $3 million. That's how much this campaign earned. $3 million. Metaverse is basically the next stage for your investment, for your business. You can do media buying, you can host events that take so much amount of money. You can do it very easily in the virtual world. You can invite celebrities. The recent Justin Bieber concert that happened in Metaverse, it got 10.7 million attendees. That's the huge amount of audience that you guys are missing out on for your own brands. And even the TV channel Colors is on Metaverse now. And oh God, they are using it to host Dance Diwane season something. But what are we stuck doing, guys? We are stuck doing our SEOs, right? Because we are always so late with the innovation. But I will tone down things a little bit. Let's leave technology for a moment. Let's leave metaverse, AR, VR, yeah? Let's just come to the common grounds that we all are. And look at this famous Volvo campaign. They literally let a hamster drive their trucks to show how efficient their steering wheel is. That's a hamster, and he's actually controlling a full 35-ton truck on an uphill drive to the mountain. They hung their president high up in the air just to show the tensile strength of the hook. Next time, if any one of you send Volvo a job application, make sure of that. If they can do this with their president, what they might do with you all. And this is again 8 years back, when we were still doing SEO. And we are still doing SEO. Volvo Truck Live Test Series. It got 100 million views on YouTube and 8 million shares. The fan base of Facebook went up by 1,870%. I'm not talking 0 to 100, we are in thousands. 1,870%. The Facebook went up by 1,375%. And on top of it, the production budget for this was hardly few $1,000s. They got a helicopter from rent, they put the truck, hang it, shot a sweet, simple video. But they had $170 million earning in digital. That's the direct return on your investment. The money that you think that this idea is crazy, going for something like this is crazy, but the money you put in creating this got 10 times back to you at the very instant. And this is not even your sales. This is totally a different line of revenue you are generating. But then again, I will like to tone it down even a bit further. Okay, we have removed technology. Let's even remove product. Okay, we don't have such innovative products. So let's just even tone it down a further. Let's talk about something very simple. Children like, let's talk about safety. We have all seen and heard about safety around tracks, safety around roads, right? Very boring topic, chapter 5th, environmental science, you must have studied or skipped it. How do you make something like that interesting? How do you make people aware of it? We know it exists, but nobody is following it, right? Does any of you remember this song? Sorry, glitches with the technical team. I wouldn't have made you wait, but I have a video ahead too, so the sound needs to come at any cost. Have you heard this song? I'm pretty sure maybe you or your kids or some colleague in some metro station or some office. Dumb ways to die. You might recognize this as just a game, but this thing got 40 million views in just 6 weeks. A viral video, a viral song, a very popular game, added on with experiential outdoor brandings, and they made people take pledges to play this game, to be on their platform, that you pledge to take road safety, railway safety in care. And do you know what? We think it all might goes to a spoof, but they actually reduced accidents and deaths by 21%. The country that organized it got their accidents and deaths reduced by 21%. And bringing you to the last part, even more talking on the same grounds, the toned down stuff, very simple stuff on road safety, is this very traumatizingly sensational campaign by a Canadian car company. It's called Bones versus Steel. Have a look. I hope from now on you all will also cross from the zebra crossings. Right? Something very simple, but yet something so effective. Something that feeds it straight into your mindsets of what they are trying to convey. Communication is the key. Marketing is the key. You have the power of digital. You have the power of technology along with you. This is what gets your brands ahead. Obviously, products and everything, whatever you are creating, has a meaning. But until and unless this meaning from you gets delivered to your audience, to your customers, you can't do anything about it. Now, marketing is a tough decision, and everybody fears it. To take big steps, to make, invest more money. People are like, we are generating sales, let's keep it, earn profits. But marketing is a tough decision. And yes, you can say that Parth, all the examples that you showed here are established brands, are big brands, that they can do it, What about startups? But I tell you, it's harder to do for established brand, and it's very easier to do for a startup. And I tell you why. This is the UCB example that I showed you. It's a very perfect example of that. When you have your brand image established, when you have your brand awareness established, when things are rigid, you can't move them. You have a very limited space to play. But for startups, you are starting, you are growing, you are building your brand awareness. You can play on it as much as you want. You can change your brand image the next month you want, because you are creating yourself, you are establishing yourself. So for them, this is actually a hard task. And if they can pull it out, starting on a clean slate is very easy compared to that. So let your creativity fly. Never ever look at the side of generating profits. Reinvestment into marketing is what's going to give you the future aspect of it. I give you a very good example of Tesla. Who says that let's just remove the marketing staff from the company? Who says that? Is that a good decision to be made? Let's just remove the marketing staff from the company. Tesla did it. Have you ever seen a single campaign or ad of Tesla? You would have seen creatives created by fans, followers, everybody. But have you seen a sponsored ad run by the Tesla company? And how many of you don't know about Tesla? See, none. That's also a marketing stunt of its own. So if that decision was so hard and so brutal, but still it worked out. So marketing is a gimmick. Marketing is just a try, and you have to play it in order to know whether it works or not. And if you have made mistakes, that's a proof that you are growing somewhere. Remember that when Tesla had this bulletproof truck, a stone broke the glass. That was a mistake, but it still worked in their favor, because that's how the marketing world is. The much you can manipulate, the much you can convey, it's going to happen. And just for some people who, joined a little later or maybe missed on something, because we are used to of doing that. It's a small recap from my side of completely what, is it not connected anymore? So just to do a small recap for all you guys. Okay, anyways, I think the last slide has gone out of the system. But if you all remember, Colgate was once entered the food company. I'm not sure if you guys know about this. It was called Colgate Lasagna. You can all search it on net. I'm not making it fake. It actually exists, Colgate Lasagna. So to sum up and recap the whole presentation, this is not something which you have to do with your brand. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for your time.
All I can say, ladies and gentlemen, what a start to the day. An extremely lively and interactive session. Please give it up for Nikita and Parth. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for them, please. Thank you so much. Nikita, can I have you on stage? We have a small token of appreciation for you. I'm going to take the honors of presenting it to you.